It is great to have you back on my channel, Coin Lady. Never in its entire history has XRP gone on a crazy rally by itself. When the cryptocurrency markets have experienced genuine growth, not just a little bit here and there, but a noticeable breath, XRP's price has exploded. Additionally, this association has always been there. When the stock market grows, this occurs. Everything falls into place when stock prices begin to rise and increase substantially. And that hasn't been witnessed by us thus far. So, no one can say with absolute certainty what will transpire. However, I'd like to tell you why, in my opinion, expansion is the most likely outcome. Furthermore, our current predicament has historical precedent. Plus, I've been keeping track for quite some time. Small cap stocks aren't growing, and I'm not alone in this opinion. Consider the Russell 2000 index of small cap stocks, it's not doing very well. That is why we have never witnessed XRP embark on such a wild rise in such a setting. Is a change in the works? I simply wanted to share some statistics with you because I think it will make you quite happy. Because there is certainly historical precedent for this, for the initial hype to die down and then crypto takes off. The idea that XRP wouldn't be involved in that if the crypto markets experience real growth is completely absurd to me. Additionally, I came across this intriguing post from Crypto Basics. Ethereum's price reaches $22,000, just as Vanek anticipated. I will not speculate on prices, because I would not be astonished if Ethereum achieves even a fraction of this market's potential. So, if expansion does occur, XRP will absolutely crush it. With significantly less capital in XRP, a substantially larger multiplier effect is considerably more feasible. Just so we're clear, I don't come from a financial family or anything. My counsel has nothing to do with money. Absolutely, without a doubt, do not let anything I say influence your purchasing or selling decisions. As a pastime and for fun, I enjoy making films on YouTube regarding crypto-related subjects. I'm just an enthusiast. Let me get this straight. Eric Belkunis has posted something that could seem familiar. Bloomberg employs him as their senior ETF analyst. Thus, his reporting propelled him to considerable fame within the crypto community. It gained 310,000 followers in the months and weeks preceding the spot Bitcoin ETF's approval. Additionally, he provided some insightful information that the blockchain supporter had posted. The supporter had simply written sigh and had excellent cause to do so. Make sure you take a look at this. What follows is the work of Eric Vulcanus. The majority of the S&P 500's performance in the first half came from the top 10 stocks, accounting for 77% of the total. It's really ridiculous. That is the second highest reading of that number in the history of recorded history. GOP 2007 was the only other year it was higher. Thus, I ask, what transpired in 2007? Naturally, that was happening during the Great Financial Crisis, which was just before the financial system crashed. Looking at the screen, it's clear that the top 10 stocks contributed 77.2%. Look at other years in the area, though, for example, 2010 and 2012. Nearly 19% closer. That is, therefore, quite obscene. When people are genuinely scared, you don't want to see their behavior reflect that by seeing blockchain going backwards and consolidation. Sure, the stock market is doing well if you focus on the big picture, but investors are understandably wary of letting it spread to smaller companies, which is why the Russell 2000 was created. Currently, not looking very attractive. Additionally, I do not anticipate any growth in the cryptocurrency market in the absence of a Russell 2000 decline. Will it, however, go? At this point, I believe it will give people faith that it's totally doable. No one can say with certainty when something will happen, so it's best to just imagine. Does it make sense? Assume it is indeed going to transpire. Sure, since this has happened before, throughout history. If small cap stocks keep falling, it might be good news for the market as a whole, according to this MarketWatch report. Thus, we go. By the way, this is from January of this year, Nonetheless, it is irrelevant as, according to LinkedIn's Rusty 1000, it hasn't changed much. Regardless of when it was published, this is still relevant today. I want to emphasize this because, as the blockchain supporter has been saying, this is the key, and it has history price movement, so you should check it out. The Russell 2000 must fall if cryptocurrency is to collapse. It must go. Appears to be stock market indexes for small cap companies when compared to other large cap companies during the last year. Tabin has lagged behind. While this is bad news for small cap investors, it could really be a sign of good things to come for the stock market in the future, according to past history. Creative Planning is a wealth management organization that oversees more than $200 billion in assets, according to Charlie Bolello, Chief Marketing Strength Market Strategist at the firm. An 11% gain for the S&P 500. In contrast, the small cap equity gauge Russell 2000 only gained 4.9% over the same period last year, according to data from FactSet. People consider that in light of the fact that it is just slightly more advantageous than inflation. You shouldn't break down in tears, because it's far from perfect. However, as previously mentioned, this sets a precedent for future good things. This could be a positive indicator for the market because of what they have written. Stocks, according to Bolello's Monday report, have traditionally returned above average after small cap underperformance, weak breath, and below average after small cap outperformance, strong breath. Therefore, everyone can grasp this concept with ease. He is simply perceived through the lens of what comes before. If there is bad performance, then good performance will follow. It's not hard to understand, but there's evidence to back it up. I should mention that this is also true for XRP. More specifically, XRP's price drops relative to Bitcoin's price at specific points in history. Just before it goes off the rails, that's when it happens. Right now, that's our situation. It turns out that everything is falling into place rather nicely. Make sure you take a look at this. There is still no sign of conflict. At the same time as the S&P 500 is trading close to its all-time high, the Russell 2000 is still about 20% below than its session high. In Bolello's opinion, this setup is indicative of strong stock performance over the next 12 months. Throughout the three most recent major declines in the Russell 2000 following the S&P 500's record high, both indices saw a rally in the year that follows, as mentioned below. That those throughout the three prior largest drawdowns of the Russell 2000 are doing well is encouraging. Both indices surged the year after the S&P 500 reached a new all-time high. The next year, the Russell 2000 surpassed expectations and joined the S&P 500 at the record highs mentioned below. Nevertheless, the sample size is limited. People, all I'm doing is stating the obvious, it hasn't happened. That isn't a problem in and of itself, though. There is abundant evidence from history to support this. Therefore, he is referring to the most recent drought, which is acceptable, but he could extend his reference to decades upon decades. Additional instances of this can be located. This isn't strange. After the Russell 2000 fell 19.2% from its local high in April 1999, it would be a slim continuation. A 14.3% gain made the S&P 500. The following year saw a 36.5% increase for the Russell 2000. In February 1991, when the Russell 2000 index had a 13.5% loss, it climbed up 35.5% within the same time mentioned below. In the subsequent year, the S&P 500 rose 12.1%. The S&P 500 index increased by 17.4% in January 1985, following a 13.3% drop in the Russell 2000 index. The Russell rose 18.2% in the subsequent year. Bolello explained the data only goes back several decades, so please don't get excited. Because of this, I will say it again, something has to change. Does that, however, provide a reason to be utterly terrified? Not at all. It also doesn't guarantee growth, sometimes everything just falls apart. After then, the market will be in a downturn for a certain number of years, and then we will have to wait. I understand. Perhaps that does occur. But should we assume that to be the case? I'd say no. I think the more likely scenario is that we'll have a huge upswing sometime this year. So, rely on it as you see fit. This is crucial, though, which is why I expressed my satisfaction that the blockchain supporter has been giving this their full attention. Give credit where credit is due. Just like he said, this is crucial if you want XRP and all of your coins to succeed. We must observe this. Plus, nothing has transpired as of yet. Is fine. Up to this point. No big deal. Expansion of XRP is, thus, imminent. I think that's probably the case. My channel would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe and like it. Goodbye for now.